And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, guys. We do have a bit of breaking news for you this morning, or this afternoon should I say, sorry. And it's to do with an infant school. I find myself coming here on these live streams and talking quite a lot about infant schools and certain things that happen, and lockdowns and all the rest of it. But there has been a huge police presence at an infant school after a dead body was found on school grounds. Now, whilst we don't know the full scale of what has happened as of yet, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to try and go through together and see what has been reported thus far. But as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more content just like this. Let's get into what has happened at this infant school. So as you can see, guys, breaking news, dead body found on infant school grounds as police launch urgent investigation. The body was discovered at 7:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. A man's body has been found at an infant school on Thursday morning. Forensic teams are at the Barwell Infant School near Hickney, Leicestershire, after they had reports of a body being found at around 7:30 a.m. this morning. Now, the discovery was made in Town End Road, the same road as the infant school. Multiple officers are currently at the scene of the incident where the man was pronounced dead. Police have confirmed that this find is not being treated as suspicious, so that, of course, in itself tells you a little bit of something. However, there was 4 police cars and 2 police community support officers who were reportedly at the scene this morning guarding the school gates. However, the number of officers near the school is now said to be dropping. A Leicestershire police spokesperson said shortly after 7:30 a.m. today a report was received stating that the body of a man had been found in the Town End Road, Barwell. Emergency services attended and the man was pronounced dead at the scene. His death is not being treated as suspicious and a file will be prepared for the coroner. Identification of the deceased is a matter for HM Coroner. One person who lives on the street told Leicestershire Live, "It's usually a quiet road. I mean, you can hear the kids at break time, but not much goes on. I opened up my curtains at the usual time and saw police cars and an ambulance." So that's what we currently know so far, but I suppose if you're looking at this, it's not seemed or being deemed as something as suspicious, but of course, it's not something you hear every single day, a dead body being found on an infant school. Let's have a little look to see if there's any more on this one, see if there's any more later updates. Quickly, let's have a little look on Google. So as you can see, coming through many reports as we're going through, but I'm imagining everything's probably going to be that much of the same. But let's try and, I don't really like going to the Sun for my news, neither do I like the Metro. I don't really like any of these sources. We just read that one. Okay, let's go on a Metro, why not? But yeah, much of the same, I think, in terms of information, as you can see, but some more pictures, I suppose. As you can see, an image shows a forensic van inside the school playground. Emergency services, and a man was pronounced dead at the scene. His death is not being treated as suspicious, and a file will be prepared for the coroner. So yeah, that's, I suppose, all we know really with regard to that. I just wanted to touch upon something as well of what happened yesterday. Of course, you probably heard it by now with regard to the targeted attack that happened in Washington, D.C., which seen 2 National Guards shot by an Afghan called Ramullah Laqua. He was named as the suspect in the shootings and was then shot before he was carted off to hospital. But since then, of course, Donald Trump has announced that he suspended all immigration from Afghanistan as they vet this whole situation. Now, the frightening thing with regard to this was, well, what this is being blamed on, this guy came through a part of the sort of Operations Allies Welcome in the aftermath of the US withdrawal from his country. And as stated, Biden was one of the guys that brought them through. And I think they ended up taking about 77,000 Afghanis to their country in the United States. And I think the UK took somewhere closer to 100,000. So you're comparing the landmass, but that was under the same thing as us. We took a load of these Afghans currently living in our country at this moment in time. However, we now know that Donald Trump is, of course, re-examining everything and issued a pretty damning statement and verdict with regard to this, and said that he's going to be, suspending immigration from Afghanistan, but also looking to try and vet these individuals that actually came in the first place. He also refers to the immigrants coming from, or the asylum seekers, or the Afghanis coming from Afghanistan as aliens. He said the word about 4 or 5 times in yesterday's speech. But currently at this moment in time, the 2 individuals that were shot were both remain in critical condition. So my thoughts and prayers currently are with them. But what you have here is a president who gets things done. He's a guy that goes after and doesn't allow this to happen. And when something massive happens like this, he goes and puts real changes in place, suspending all immigration from Afghanistan and stating that the protection and safety of our homeland and of the American people remains our singular focus and mission. So Afghan Ramulana Lakamwa was named as the suspect yesterday. But guys, I do want to get into the live chat. Let me know your thoughts on both stories that we have discussed. It's been a little while since I came live, guys. I do apologize. It's been a pretty quiet time, really, in terms of talking about news. Some of those stuff I've just been covering on videos. But, of course, yesterday with the budget and all of the other things, I mean, there's a lot of fallout today. We've, of course, covered one of those interviews this morning, and there's probably going to be a lot more fallout as the day goes on. Yesterday, we saw that mass protest, of course, from the farmers, certainly not happy with the decisions that came their way from the budget, and something that, again, we just seeing Labour just lie their way through, break manifesto pledges, and just try and use and take no accountability for their actions. Just really frustrates me time and time again. It really does. But again, we're not going to be hearing the end of this. If it was anything like last year, this rumbled on for months, the backlash of the budget, and then we certainly felt it as a country a year later, and now they've made more tax rises in terms of £26 billion, punishing workers and sort of rewarding people that are on welfare. You couldn't really make it up, could you? But let's have a little look at what people are saying in the live chat. If only our government felt the same about us. That's obviously in referral to I don't know why that's not coming up, the live chat there. 2 seconds, let me try and sort that out. I didn't link the chat. Give me a moment. There we go. That should come through. There we go, I'm number 2. Yeah, so if only our government felt the same about us. Guys, for those of you just tuning in, yes, the main story that we discussed is that a man's body has been found on an infant school in Leicestershire and currently isn't being treated as suspicious. But that's it. That's all we've really got. Currently a big police presence at the area, of course, and currently investigating all of this sort of stuff. Glenn says, a lot less coverage today than I expected about the National Guard shootings in Washington yesterday. Well, you've got to remember, I suppose, that they're on the East Coast at this moment in time and in sort of the American media, but as they're waking up, then more sort of information will probably follow suit. But an absolute shocking attack. But just goes to show, this is what I'm saying, and I say it time and time again, when you import people that are not culturally aligned to the Western way of life, that people that don't love the country that they're staying in, then these are the sorts of things that happen. Now, in the United States, something horrific has happened. Thankfully, we've not had anything here in the UK as of yet. My thoughts and prayers, of course, are with the people in the United States. But we've got the same people that have came through this through this scheme, and they're currently inhabiting and living in our country. This should be a massive, massive wake-up call for the United Kingdom. But the difference between the United States and the United Kingdom is, yes, they had something horrific happen, but they've got a guy that will put a stop to this and well, has put a stop in terms of mass immigration and importing from the third world, but also understands how dangerous this is. We've got a UK government that will do absolutely nothing on this. They will do and say nothing. And yeah, we've got more of them from that sort of regime, so to speak, in terms of bringing them in under that sort of scheme, than the United States has. And it's a far bigger landscape than the United Kingdom. Trump is waking the world up. Exactly. And Trump does an absolutely fantastic job. And I would never say a bad word about Donald Trump. He's the president of peace and actually gets things done, unlike any European leader. And in fact, this morning I've been watching a lot of Instagram Reels, funnily enough. Yeah, TikTok brain rot. But these sort of comparisons of Europe when it was in the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, you know, those sort of comparison videos to today. My goodness me, it really is scary and quite frankly quite sad. I see some of the ones from Paris as well, and I thought, you know what? I was saying it was showing like the 1960s of Paris, and I thought, you know, that's what I think of Paris back then when I see it. And then it was showing today, and I was like, my goodness me, it looks like a complete and utter alien world. That certainly isn't Paris. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Plenty of content coming up today. A lot, of course, reaction for the budget. There is, of course, 3 seats up for grabs with regard to councillors. Labour looking to defend one of those seats. So we're going to see if there's going to be an instant backfire to the Labour government. And we're going to be seeing who wins these sort of councillor seats as everyone goes to the ballot. Of course, Reform in a strong position at this moment in time. Labour hopefully going to lose yet another seat as well. But time will tell. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this situation, the main story that we discussed today with regard to a man's body being found on an infant school, down there in the comment section below. Thank you so much for the support as well, and we'll be back keeping you up to date